Hello, dear friends. Good morning on Monday, the beginning of the next week. And this week will be a very important one because there will be a solar eclipse. And during the first few days, we are in preparation of this upcoming solar eclipse, which means that specifically today, Monday, the energy is a bit confusing, a bit chaotic, because it's going only on an inside level, or at least mostly on an inside level. So my recommendation, don't push yourself too much. Don't try to do things that are physically very difficult or require too much physical energy. Instead, try to complete things that you have already started and kind of like to let go of the past. Specifically on Monday, the most interesting aspect is the conjunction we have between the Sun and Mercury. So here it's honestly a bit of interesting combination, let's say, because from one side, the Sun and Mercury in conjunction is an aspect which can focus us more on self-reflection, on analyzing ourselves, can bring also a too subjective perspective and only how I see things, how I believe things are, what's my representation, my idea. So it's really about me and my mind. And again, when those two planets are joining together, like today, from one side, we can analyze ourselves more. We can understand more our own perspective, or kind of like get in touch more with our own ideas. But we can be too subjective. We can be too focused only on our perspective. And here's the interesting part. This conjunction at the same time is happening in the sign of Libra, and Libra is the sign of me and someone else. Libra is the sign of relationships, of contact between two people or two different perspectives or two different sides. So we really have an interesting, a bit contradictory combination. From one side, a more subjective focus and kind of like something that can help us to get in touch with our own perspective. But at the same time, there is also the importance of seeing another perspective or seeing what someone else might be thinking. And here we need to find the balance. So I would say this is a pretty specific and rare combination, which can allow us to dig deeper into our subjective perspective, but at the same time, perhaps realize that others also have their own subjective perspective and their own thoughts and their own ideas. So it could be, I would say, mind opening. It could allow us to recognize how, in some way, we are all different. We all have our own perspectives. And at the same time, everyone has the right to do the same. So I'm allowed to be subjective and see my things from my perspective, but you and the other person and everyone else is also allowed, and they also have their own subjective perspective. So interesting combination for communication today, for self-analysis, and again, for clarifying things in relationships, or maybe having some interesting, important discussions. The transiting moon is in Virgo under the rulership of Mercury, so this can increase the energy of analysis, of focusing on details, of kind of like evaluating things, focusing on the details, focusing sometimes on possible criticism. And overall, we can focus today on some practical matters as well. The moon, especially during the morning, has positive aspects with Mars and Venus, which is also supportive for figuring things out in relationships, especially romantic relationships or interactions between men and women. And later during the week, we will have this exact trine between Venus and Mars. So this is like a preparation for this aspect, which towards the end of the week will bring more and more focus into finding this balance in relationships, or again, when it comes to our desires, the actions we are taking. So we will talk about this more towards the end of the week, but just so you know that it's coming up quite soon. So overall, the day is not energetically very active, but I would say on an inner level, when it comes to realizing something about yourself in regards to relationships, or seeing that there are many different sides and you have your own and there are also many others, that's what we can do today, and it could be quite beneficial. So enjoy your week, my friends, and I will see you tomorrow.